Welcome to the Chasing Brighter podcast.
You're about to go on a journey of self-discovery as we chase a brighter you. Every single week, we will bring you new episodes that will cover everything from lifestyle and tips to more serious conversations about grief, life, and hardships.
Allow this show to be a reminder to always keep chasing a brighter version of you. Let's get into it.
Hey, Kelly, how are you doing today?
Great, Jess. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm getting better. I think I had a little bit of a cold, but it's going away.
So I know you came back from spring break and I'm home this week and then we're going and I cannot wait. The forecast in Chicago this week has been 30s and 40s. Last week we hit like a 60-degree day. We've had sporadic 60-degree days, even hit 70 here and there, but like the last week and a half it's been really like this is in Chicago. When you get to the late March, early April, it is just, come on, people. We are ready for some more sunshine. It's actually not the people. The people are ready. It's
Yeah.
Mother Nature who's not.
Mother Nature, get
So
it together.
I'm so excited to be going somewhere warm and have some sun and some heat because I love sun and heat.
Yes. Yes.
You, on the other hand,
What?
may not
Yeah.
feel that way.
I think when we've talked about this before, I think you love heat more than me or more, what's the term? Like
You know, the
obsessed
thing
about it more. It's more exciting for
It's
you. I
important
don't
to
know.
me, but I've never lived in it. So I remember still to this day, if we come in the dead of summer to Vegas, I don't mind sitting outside until
Yeah.
I'm ready to die of heat and then go back inside and all the locals just want to be inside in a dark, cold.
I
Mhm.
don't, I think it's the only time I'm trying to think if it really gets me. We have such amnesia is really more when I'm outside for softball and baseball.
If you're outside for an extended period of time. See, and I don't have that. I
Yeah.
don't have the
Yeah.
chance to like, sure, it gets hot in Chicago, but we know that those days are few and far between. So I'm sure I complain about the heat to some extent, but I also really try to be grateful for it because it
Yeah,
does
I
not
love
come
it here.
often.
I don't it doesn't I love being
Yes,
here.
fair
I
enough.
stay here by choice.
You stay there by
And
choice.
in
Yes.
the yes, I could leave if I hated it or whatever. I mean, a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
people live here and hate it, but you can walk I personally think you can walk every morning in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
even when it's 116, it's very nice in the morning,
Yes.
and we have a pool, and you're right, you can sit outside. It's so funny, right? I know when you guys come, you get out of the pool and our kids are shaking and covered in goosebumps, and you're like, "It's 105 out." So, anyways, I love it. It was really crazy. We went to the Phoenix area. Dominic's Christmas gift
Mhm.
was going to Major League Baseball spring training, and I didn't really notice, okay, there's a cactus league and a grapefruit league. And the grapefruit league are the teams that have spring training in Florida,
Okay.
and the cactus league has spring training in the Phoenix area, and then they actually have their own kind of like stadiums and fields there that they might share. So it's crazy. So these ballparks have one stadium, which is the field is the same size as a major league field, but then the seats in stadium are a little bit smaller. But then they'll have 3 to 4 to 8 fields. So like this one stadium, I believe, is shared by the Royals and the Texans. I'm terrible with teams, or the Astros.
Those
I
are
don't
all
know
right.
anything.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so they'll have like Royal stuff and then whatever the other team is stuff. And so that team will be out practicing. So it's a lot of area and ground to
Mhm.
cover when you're walking, but you can walk for free and park and free and watch all of them practice. And then Dominic got so many signatures and he had so much fun. And then, so that was a lot of fun. And then we went all together at Royals game, and then Dominic and Justin
Oh,
caught
that's
3 more games. And then
awesome.
we
That's
went
awesome.
shopping, slept in. It was a lot of fun. And Gabby drove all the way back, 4 hours, over 4 hours, which was amazing. So she's a good driver.
So, tell me about the vehicle.
Yes, we got Gabby a Kia Sportage, a
Is that what you were
2023
looking
Kia
for?
Sportage. It's what I wanted. That
Okay.
particular model won a whole bunch of awards for safety. It has a lot of safety features, and the specific model that I wanted and the trim that I wanted was there. It actually was like literally the exact same car that we had found in Pennsylvania, but in Pennsylvania you have to be there to physically sign. They don't do anything virtually, and they don't ship your car or do anything helpful in any way. And so it was a great price on this car. And so one day I spent negotiating, and it was really fun because to have Gabby and Gio with me and just have Gabby watch me negotiate. And she was like making fun of me, but I knew that it was really cool to have her watch another woman negotiate and talk to all
Did
men.
you
And
Yeah, that's I hate the car buying experience as a female
mhm,
because
I was drenched in
it's
sweat.
so misogynistic in its world.
Yeah.
And did you how did that feel? So for me, it's a little triggering, it makes me angry.
I've done it multiple times, and this guy was really cool, and I didn't feel
Okay.
like other situations I've had before. And Justin has I don't know, I feel really great negotiating. When we bought my minivan, Justin was like, "Oh my god." We ended up getting I ended up getting 3 years of oil changes and, like, 10 car
So you've
washes.
you've
And so
inherited,
Justin was like
Olinto Lodovicis
I
negotiation
did,
skills.
but I didn't wanna walk away, and I don't know if I could get a better price, but Justin was like, "Walk away." And it was the price of the vehicle was amazing, but it was more than Justin wanted to spend, and I was, like, trying to get it down, and it was cool for Gabby to watch me say, "This is what I wanna pay." And then I was joking with Gabby because they leave this whole game,
Yeah.
and I go, "Gabby, he's not talking to anybody. I think he's just standing in the hallway," and he sets a timer for 5 minutes, and then we had already talked to our credit union, so I had an interest rate that I knew I
Mhm.
could get, and they obviously wanna do financing there, and
Yes.
so they were trying to give me this crazy high interest rate, and I was like so he brought it and sat the paper down, and I was like, "No," and I slid it back, like, immediately, and so Gabby kept laughing 'cause she was like, "No," and so I was like they would bring something over, and I'd be like, "No," and so it was just like and then he'd leave, and then he'd come back with something else, and the whole time, I just I'm sweaty because I hate this BS. I just wanna leave,
I don't know why they
but
haven't refined this process. Like,
but they
everything else in
leave.
the world has
Why
evolved,
can't the salesmen's all why
and
can't they all have the ability to make the
it's such
decision?
crap that, like, Carvana, like, some of these things you can't like, Carvana's trying to keep that change the business model for buying a
Right,
car,
yeah.
but you were saying how,
Our
like,
credit union will not
finance, and
online auto
so
sales anymore.
yeah, and you know why? I guarantee you it's because the, Car Dealerships Association of America is telling the lenders that should be blocked because
Yeah,
they want people to come into a dealership. It's a grand
right.
everything's a
Yeah,
conspiracy. It's about
yeah.
money and
And then
power,
I knew I was like, then you get in finance. You're gonna get in the finance office and they're gonna keep offering you
and it's gonna
whatever. And
take you
so
2 more
thank goodness
hours.
finance was not like that. It was really the best experience I've ever had. And he was really great. And actually, we never bought a Kia before. And I was looking at a Kia too, because Kias are obviously very affordable. And so we could have the features that I wanted for Gabby, but also be affordable. I was
Mhm,
looking at something lower mile. There was mileage I was looking at. I wanted a
mhm.
hybrid. There were just all these things I wanted. And a lot of hybrids had really high miles on them. So I wasn't going to look at those because this is a car I wanted to have for Dominic. And there was just all these things I wanted it to have. And anyway, Kia, I didn't it was a certified I've never purchased a certified used car before. Have you?
That's all we almost all we purchase. I shouldn't
Okay.
say all we purchase, but for the most part, that is a majority of
And
our
so because of that, it comes with a warranty, like a bumper to
and you
bumper
it is.
warranty and
It's a
all that
great
stuff, and that
deal
was
because
really nice.
you're not paying for that brand new
Yeah,
model year. It's
right.
almost the best bang for
Yeah.
the buck. You can get a
And
low mileage newer car.
yeah, and
Yeah.
here, I don't know if it happens as much in Chicago, but I feel because of the sun or whatever, a lot of cars are, like, faded. Like, a lot of cars that you see, the paint is, like, faded
Mhm.
and peeling off, and I think it's because of the sun. I don't know, whatever. And so they have this paint warranty. There was just all
Oh,
these that just come
interesting.
with it, just all of these warranties, but I didn't feel like he was selling me. I remember when I bought my minivan, it was like, you make all the decisions, and I got into finance, and they were like, "Do you want tinted windows? Do you want extra not crack chip windows? Do you want extra" I just felt like there were all
Right.
these options, but literally, it was just like, we talked about whether I wanted more of a warranty or not, a 5-minute talk, and then signing paperwork, and we were good to go, and, um I needed Justin to co-sign. Basically, Justin could buy whatever he wants. I cannot. And so I needed his signature. And so they were like, he was just highlighting in blue what Justin would need to sign, set it aside. And they were like, he can come over later and come sign everything and we're good to go. He came in, he signed all the paperwork and we immediately left. Like it wasn't another show.
So, okay.
And the
Sorry.
last thing I wanna say is they don't give you paperwork anymore, they just gave us a USB fob.
Oh, nice.
So,
Okay, that's cool.
anyways, that was all.
From the time you walked in, test drove the vehicle, decided to buy it, bought it, did all that, like, what was the end-to-end time window for you?
I think 3 hours.
Okay, that's not bad.
I wanna say 11:30 to 2:30 or 11:30 to
Okay,
3.
alright.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. He had the car, like, set aside in a showroom, all set aside for us because I had called ahead of time
Mhm.
to see if they still had the car, and he let Gabby test drive it, and that was fun, and then, they have a gong, and they let Gabby hit the gong, for the sale,
Oh.
and Gio was amazing. He surprised didn't complain or whine once, and they had, like, hot cocoa and water, and they just kept getting more water. You know how kids are weird, and he just kept
Yeah.
getting more water, and I did have snacks in my car, so I went and got the snacks, and they're the ones that told me about the Andretti Racing Center. Like, all the guys,
Oh.
like, wanted to go, and they had kids, and the finance guy was like, "Oh, I
I
wanna
need to
take my
do it.
kids," and yeah, it
I
was
need
that
to do
was
it.
a lot of fun, and so it was annoying and really stressful, but I'm glad we did it. It's really crazy. I've never personally driven a hybrid before, and so every time I drive it, I'm like, "Is it on? Is it on? Gabby, is it on?" She's like, "Mom, it's on." And it's just crazy, right? It's just totally silent, and then dad was like, "I would need to take a class to drive a new car." There's just so many her screen is all the way across
Yeah.
and there's so many buttons and
Yes.
features and all of these
Yes.
things and but what safety wise, that car beeps and dings and it is
Yes.
self-driving. And so she actually can push a button and it will drive on the
That's
highway for you.
crazy.
It
It
doesn't
must be
allow
all,
you to
like,
get in an accident anymore, like it will slam on its brakes, just all of the things that
that
it's
all the new
oh
2023 plus models
yes, and
have.
that's and it was like,
Yes.
I really looked a long time, like, maybe I'm just gonna get her just like, I was looking before, I found, like, a like, a 2010 Ford Explorer that had, like, 25,000 miles on it, and I was like, I'm gonna find something like this, right? Like, this
Yeah.
car that a
Yes.
grandpa had and
Yeah.
never drove, but then I'm like, then I'm not gonna have all those features, and I was just debating, right? And now having her drive, I just think that makes me feel so much better. It's not gonna let you
Plugs
like
Kia Sportage right here. We should get sponsorship
yeah,
for Kia Sportage.
Kia is
Mhm.
not sponsoring this, but that it will not let you get out of your lane. Just think about little things that maybe if you were a teenager and distracted and dropped your phone, or I obviously we don't want her to do those things, but like that it would jerk you back in your lane or dang and all of that kind of stuff. And it's really cool. And it's just it's got a huge amount of cargo space. And I had wanted leather interior because she plays softball, and, like, when she sits in my car and Dom plays
Yeah, it's all the
baseball,
dust
just
and dirt.
red dirt everywhere, and
Yeah.
so we've gotta have certain things, and so I'm very excited. I had her drive it to batting last night, and like I said, she drove it all the way home from Phoenix for a little over 4 hours. She did amazing. There's a lot of two-lane roads, so there's, like, passing lanes,
Oh, that's
so you get
great.
behind trucks, and I'm like, "You gotta gun it, Gabby," and it's
Yeah.
fun, get up and go, and so she did a really great job, and she knows, like, on my car, how to use Apple CarPlay, and you just have to have your music set up, you have to have the GPS on,
Yep.
whatever the songs are, you can't be pushing different buttons, and she drove last night to batting, and I'm already excited, like, the money we're gonna save on gas is gonna be insane because
I love all this, and it makes me think about ho I don't know how it is for you driving that car, but we did get a 2023 SUV back in
yeah.
December, and I you can customize it all, and I just use whatever. I haven't spent a lot of time with it. I just have it set up with my profile. But if you go over the speed limit, it'll be like and so anytime I'm
Oh,
driving
maybe that's why there was a ding at one
yeah,
point, we were like, "Why is it dinging
there's
at
weird
us?"
dings. It's like it dings if it's under 30 degrees, which you will never get that ding, but it's like a lot of dings happening, "What's
Yeah.
that? What's that?" And one is if you're over the speed limit, and so that happens a fair amount when I'm driving, and so it'll be like, "Mom, slow down."
Yeah. I was laughing at Gabby because she loves show tunes, and so we're listening to The Greatest Showman and Mamma Mia on the way
Have
back
you
from
seen
Phoenix.
Wonka?
Yes,
Did
and
you
I wanna
see
talk
Wonka?
about
Okay.
that too. But we were listening, and I noticed that when she, like, loved the song and it was a fast song, she was, like, gunning it, and I'm like, "Gabby, you're going 99." And then it would be, like, this really slow song, and I'm like, You're slowing down." And she learned cruise control, but she was, like, doesn't wanna use it yet because she was like, "I wanna learn how to control my speed," and so she didn't wanna use cruise control. because it does have the adaptive cruise, which I know you
It's
love.
just I love it,
But
yes.
she didn't want to use it. And so it was just really funny. I was like, you can't drive based on the beat of the song. Let's get it. So we watched Wonka, which you did not tell us it was a musical.
I didn't wanna tell you it was a
Okay.
musical.
And the reason I found it was musical was because Gabby was like, "Oh, AJ went to go see it, and he and his friend walked out
Yes.
of the theater as soon as they started doing music."
They d but
And so
AJ needed to give it a chance
that's what
because
I said. It
it's
was
what it
great.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Again,
I loved
sponsor
it.
for Wonka.
All of us watched it. And then afterwards, Dominic was like, "I didn't think it was that great." And you're like, "Whatever, Dominic." But we all really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a great fun.
Great songs. It
Yeah.
reminded me of The Showman at some level, although it's a little more maybe PG versus The Showman. But I the storyline was fantastic. It was so creative, a great way to take what is an old classic film and not they didn't touch, like, the Johnny Depp situation, like, when Johnny Depp's version or the original Gene Wilder version, right?
Uh,
A neat way in which it sits
right.
as a prequel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. A show we started watching over break, which you might enjoy with the boys. It's a series and it's called One Piece. And so One Piece is actually anime series
okay,
that's been going on for 20 years.
okay,
And there is actually, I think, a One Piece game on Roblox.
okay,
But Justin was like, I want to watch One Piece over break. And it is like a pirate versus the Marines type show. It's quirky because the characters have like funny hair, whatever, because it's cartoony.
uh-huh.
And there are 8 episodes, and I guess I did get approved for season 2, but we're watching it with Geo, and it's so good. It's a pirate. Like, I was trying to describe to mom. I know dad wouldn't like it, but like very quirky, but also because it's anime, it's like the characters are really out there, but it's really I love the main character. He's this really young guy, and he says he's gonna be the king of the pirates, and he's this really scrawny guy who's wears a sleeveless shirt and has a straw hat, and he's, like, really happy and smiley all the time, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be the king of the pirates," and everyone's, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I just love his spirit, and he's always smiley, and even though people are like, "We're challenging you to a duel," he's, "Okay," and it's just really cute and funny, and I think the boys would like it. So, recommend it.
We we watched Migration. So we're now figured out after all these years that we let each person pick a movie. So
Yeah,
each
you were
person instead
saying
of
that.
agreeing, consensus doesn't
Right.
work anymore.
Yeah.
So it was Beckett's turn and he wanted to watch Migration. So we watched Migration and I decided now that I need to start helping them develop some sort of a being a film critic or having views of things. Like whether it's a movie or a book or anything, like at school they have to talk about stuff. So we watched Migration and then I was like, okay, what are some themes of this? And I decided that I was going to try I need to do that more when we watch like a movie just to like debrief on what did you think about
Yeah.
that or what did you think
Yeah.
about this or like having some sort of a dialogue around it because not that I'm a film critic at all, but I do listen to some podcasts on film, being a film critic. And so I appreciate the fact that you can get more out of a film or like it sticks with you more when maybe you have that conversation about
Yeah, I don't
the
think it's
movie.
necessarily even being like a critic, but there is actually a study, where they studied couples who would watch movies and then answer these certain questions, and couples who did that had longer lasting healthy relationships. And there's actually you can Google it and you can find the list of questions.
Hmm.
And so I don't see how that wouldn't also be beneficial for a family to follow up what you're talking about with the dialogue or how did you feel or what character was most like you or do you think
Yeah.
that was like our family or whatever. Those could be I think that's a great idea
Yeah.
to start
Again,
doing.
journey of self-discovery, trying to live our best life and help our kids be the best humans they can be,
Yeah,
one movie at a time.
that's right. That's right. Sponsored by Searchlight. I don't know. I can't think of a movie production
Illumination.
company.
Thanks for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe so you can hear our latest episodes as soon as they drop.
If you loved today's episode, share with a friend. Come visit us on Instagram or Facebook. Make sure to give us a follow. We have lots of giveaways. If you want to know more about Kelly and I, read our blogs, find more tips, tools, and resources, check that out at chasingbrighter.com. Thanks.